I really don't want to make this video. I really don't want to talk about Game 4 of the NBA Finals that happened last night. You know why? Because inside my heart, I'm very sad. Like, man, I'm so sad. Now, I said after Game 2 that the Warriors were simply the better team than the Cavs, and that still remains true, and I still believe that going into yesterday's game, and I still believe that after Game 3. But what the Cavs showed in Game 3 is that even though they're the inferior team, they could still play with the Warriors. They could still steal a game. And then Game 4 happened. Game 4, in which they were in the game, they were winning through the first half. They were down 2 after the third quarter. So again, I'm watching this game thinking, oh boy, the Warriors, better team throughout their entire lineup, 1 through 12. But the Cavs are in this game to win it. They're in it to win it. And then something happened. And I tweeted out during the third quarter when all of a sudden Steph and Klay started going off. I said, all the Cavs have to do is weather the storm, get through all these threes, and they'll be good to go in the fourth. And they did. The Warriors made like countless threes in the third quarter, and the Cavs were still down 2. So that's a really good position. But then in the fourth, you know, things were going smoothly, and all of a sudden Golden State went on that other run, and they went up by 9. And Tyronn Lue, who has no idea what he's doing, he showed that last night, took like their second last timeout with 6 minutes left. So now you're down to 1 timeout, thanks again Lue, and you're down 9, but there's 6 minutes left. Well, then Kyrie Irving and LeBron, and well, basically them two, they start chucking threes. Kyrie starts dribbling the ball off his knee out of bounds. He can't, driving in, doing his fancy layups, getting it stripped. LeBron, I don't know what he was doing. Like, they just collapsed. They fell apart in the fourth quarter. And it was so strange. Like, they were not out of that game, and they just started playing like a 6th grade team. Like, what were they doing? And finally, for the Warriors, Steph Curry had a great game. He played awesome. He did. And Klay Thompson played well. Draymond didn't do too much in the way of scoring, but he was effective. But the Cavs were still in that game. The Cavs were right there. And what did they do? They just threw it away. And it pains me so much to say this. As you see, I got LeBron hung up on the wall now. As a LeBron fan, and I'm not wavering at all, just so you know, LeBron's still my favorite player. I don't care what happened. Man, he came up small yesterday. He really, really did. Now, before I talk about it, he's been their best player in the finals. Kyrie had a great game yesterday and a great Game 3 as well, but LeBron's their best player. He's played like their best player. In my opinion, he's been the best player on the court for most of the series. And even after a slow start yesterday, he had 7, 5, and 5 in the first half. I thought, you know what, who cares? He's got 7 points. The Cavs are winning. LeBron's going to turn it up in the second half. Then the third quarter came and he wasn't really attacking, so he wasn't being aggressive. Then the fourth quarter came and he still wasn't aggressive. And I said after, I think Game 1 or Game 2, it's not like LeBron can just walk to the basket, do a layup every time like people assume. He's got Andre Iguodala, a top 5 defender in the league, guarding him. And basically, I'd say like 80% of the time, there's a second defender waiting for him in the paint. But even on those 2 opportunities, that 20% window where LeBron maybe has the advantage, he still wasn't attacking. He still wasn't taking it to the rim. And I have no idea why. Like, that's why this is so depressing. I can't even give a good reason for why he didn't play his best. This game reminded me of Game 4 in the finals last year when LeBron scored 20 points and you could tell he was visibly tired, visibly fatigued. But that was understandable. I mean, the guy was carrying his squad, playing 48 minutes a night. But this year, I mean, he might be tired. I don't know. He's played a lot of games in the last 6 years, but he had a chance to take over that game, and he had a chance to lead the Cavs to victory, and honestly, he just didn't. So it's really, really hard for me to say that, but it's what happened, man. Like, that's the truth. But with that being said, like I mentioned multiple times in these videos, is the Golden State Warriors were the better team. LeBron and the Cavs ran into a 73-win team. You know what? That's I don't care what era you're talking, that is unprecedented. So in my opinion, losing to the Warriors, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like, as much as we want LeBron to do magical things, be heroic, his team, including him, is just not as good as Steph Curry and the Warriors. That's just the way it is. The only thing is they showed that they can compete. They won Game 3. They were in Game 4. You know, if they would have gotten blown out Games 3 and 4 too, it would have been like, well, you know what? This Cavs stood no chance, but we saw they were there, and maybe if LeBron played better, man, I don't even know. I hate to agree with all his critics, But just for this one game, man, I would have loved to see more from LeBron. And final note, is this series over? I mean, if you were going to tell me that the Cavs had to win 2 games on the road in this series, I would have said, yeah, they're not going to do that. And that's the situation they face themselves here now. But if they could somehow win Game 5, if they can pull off Game 5, I think they'd win Game 6, and then we'd be at Game 7 where anything can happen. So yeah, I'm not really holding out hope for that, you know. That probably won't happen, but hey, maybe LeBron will right himself. Maybe he'll just attack all game, play like he did in Game 3, and maybe they can pull off the win in Game 5. But let me know what you guys think. What did you see last night? Is this series over? Let me know. Can Cleveland pull off Game 5? Yeah, just give me some more hope, guys.